Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 1, Episode 32, wherein we take a look at the puzzle called Cave. I don't really have anything more to add today, so let's jump right in and take a look at the rules. Cave is a shading puzzle. The rules are as follows. Shade some cells so that the shaded cells are all connected orthogonally by other shaded cells to the edge of the grid, and the remaining unshaded cells form one orthogonally connected area, the cave. So let's define the word orthogonally in this context. It basically means not diagonally. So connected orthogonally by other shaded cells means from any shaded cell we have in the entire grid, we can trace a path to the edge of the grid somewhere. That's true for all of these in the example. And the unshaded cells are orthogonally connected, meaning from any unshaded cell we can get to any other unshaded cell in the grid. Clues cannot be shaded and represent the total number of unshaded cells that can be seen in a straight line, vertically or horizontally, including the cell itself. So that is saying that this 4 can see 4 cells, which we can count here. 1, 2 in the row, 3, 4. Make sure not to either omit nor double count this cell. This 7 clue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hopefully that is super clear. And those are the rules of Cave, so it's time to solve a puzzle. To begin with, let's just mark all of the clues as unshaded, since we know from the rules that is a requirement. And now let's take care of a couple easier housekeeping things. We know that shaded cells are connected to the edge of the grid, so these stranded cells in the middle cannot be shaded. We can mark those off right away. Now let's look at the numbers we're given, and especially we're looking for any clues that have been completely defined, which is ideal, and I do see 2 of them right away. I see these 3s that already see 1, 2, 3 unshaded cells. So because of that, in both of these cases, we can block off all of the other cells that they could be seeing. So those 3 need to be shaded, or else this 3 would end up seeing more cells than it's supposed to. Same thing here. We're going to block off that 3 vertically and horizontally both. Okay, now looking at these shaded cells, what about the connectivity to the edges? These are taken care of already, and these have a ways to go. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I see that I can use a little trick that I know is true in cave puzzles. I learned it first in a puzzle type called yin yang, which we haven't yet covered here, but it is true in both cases. Because the shaded cells need to be connected to the edge of the grid, and the unshaded cells need to be connected to each other, it will follow that we cannot ever have a 2x2 checkerboard in the grid. And let's prove that quickly so that we can then use the fact. Suppose we had this arrangement of a 2x2. We know that the unshaded cells all have to connect, which means this cell with the 3 in it either has to loop around to the left and meet up with this cell, or it has to loop around to the right and meet up with this cell. Either way, we now have a ring that we're making around this shaded cell, and then therefore that shaded cell cannot reach the edge of the grid. It'll either mess up this one or it will mess up this one. So anytime we get that 2x2 arrangement, we know we can never make a checkerboard. So when we get this pattern right here, we can shade the other one in order to avoid that pattern from happening, that shading from happening. So we can do that in both of these cases. That's something just to keep an eye out for in general in these puzzles. Another thing that we can do is consider clues that see each other but have different numbers. So this 4 and this 5, for example, see each other, and there are some number of cells in the row that they can both see. And that's all they're going to be able to see horizontally. And since the numbers are different, that means vertically, this 5 needs to see one more cell vertically than the 4 can see. And since they're blocked off on the bottom side, that extra cell needs to come up on the top. So this 5 clue can't see all 5 horizontally. It's got to see at least 1 vertically, maybe 2. And the 4 is going to have 0 or 1 up here. It's a pattern we can see a few times. Let's see, I see this on this 3, 6 as well. The 6 is actually, this is easier. I don't even have to use that logic here. So the 6 can only see 6 cells right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all we can do. So let's just fill that in. Now these 4 clues are both fully satisfied. So we need to block this 4 clue in and this 4 clue in. Good. This 5 clue now has seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all it can see. So now we can go back to this 4. So now that the 5 extends 2 to the north, we know the 4 extends 1 to the north. And that's going to be all it extends to the north. And then this 7 sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It needs 2 more. Those are going to extend right and go over here. How about this 4? This 4 could be up to 3 west, and it could be up to 3 going north. So if it extends the farthest it possibly can west, we still need 1 north. And if it extends the farthest possible north, it needs at least 1 west. All right. Next, another checkerboard possibility here. We need to stop, and 1 over here, the same thing, needs to be stopped. And I see a couple of them up here. This potential checkerboard needs to not be 1. This needs to not be 1. Okay. Next up, let's see. We've got a 5 and 6 that can see each other. The 6 needs to extend 1 further than the 5 in the horizontal direction. But I don't know exactly how to apply that quite yet. The same is going to be true with this pair here. Let's see. What is the most vulnerable here? We need all of the unshaded cells. We need the cave to be connected. So there's now a big wall that we've made here. So it needs to connect this direction. And if it were to go another cell in that direction, that's going to blow up all of these clues that are going to see way too many cells. So these need to be kept apart. So we need to shade that cell. And now that's going to take care of this 5 clue I see. It's got 3 here. It needs 2 more. And this 6 has 3. It needs 3 more. Maybe that one, but at least 2 in this direction. And then 1 more in either one of these slots. This 5 clue is now completely satisfied, so let's block that off. Now the cave is constrained again. We need to make it through this little gap here, and now the 6 has seen all 6 of its cells. Block that off. This 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 needs 1 more, and then it stops. The cave needs to come over to these over here. So let's snake it through there. And now the 2 is seeing both of the cells it needs to see. Block that off. This 6 sees 4 so far and needs 2 more. If this even if this were filled in, or if this were part of the cave, we'd still need to go north at least 1. So it goes up there. And then that's going to complete the 2 clue, which needs to be blocked off. We, for a couple reasons, can't have this unshaded. One reason is the checkerboard, and another is just simple inspection. If this were unshaded, it couldn't reach anything else. So that's shaded. Let's see. It's this 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It needs 1 more. 6. And then we'll block it off. And then this last one needs to be blocked off because it can't reach the cave. Okay. So now we've got everything but this top corner. How are we going to handle this? Let's see. So what did we have? We had a 4 that needs 1 more cell. We have a 6 that needs 1 more cell. And then we've got this 6. I think this is going to be the one that's going to do it for us. It could reach as many as 5 cells horizontally, which means it needs at least 1 vertically. And that one right there is going to now complete this 6 clue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which will in turn make this 6 be hemmed in on this direction, which means it needs all the cells it can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's unshade all of those. And finally, the 4 clue is now complete because it can see all 4 cells. So we'll shade that one in. And that is all the cells disposed of. So let's check our work. And that is how you solve a cave. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and check out the description below for more free puzzles.